world is a very strange place to live in. It's a place where more than a lot of different personalities exist. Just like snowflakes, no two are alike. One of these personalities belongs to Dr. KLAUS Ubee, noted clinical anthropodiatrist of the United States of America. Dr. Ubee has devoted his life to researching the link between what people wear on their feet and how it affects their behavior. In fact, it was Dr. Ubee and his associate, Bob, who uncovered the mystery behind one of the most amazing phenomena of our lifetimes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ubee. You're probably wondering what I'm going to talk about. But first, would you like some coffee, Bob?
You know I only like cold drinks.
In 1988, a lot of people were wearing shoes, even Bob. It was in that same very year that I began a study of the Reebok Corporation. Reebok had become the fastest growing company in the United States of America, so no one was sure quite why. It was my job to find out, so I started with the facts. Within a year after Reeboks were introduced, normal humans who had never worn shoes with soft soles reacted with favor to their sleekness, fashionability, and supple upper constructioning. Bob. Bob?
By 1988, out of every 3 people in the United States of America, 1 owned Reebok. That's 1 in 3. Also, 95% of growth in the athlete's footwear business over the last 8 years was Reebok. Also, Reebok is worn in 60 to 61% of the houses that bought athlete shoes in 1977, 88, 87. And 45% of men and ladies in the United States of America own Reebok. Also, the #1 brand in basketball, running, tennis, walking, aerobics, cross-training, and children's shoes was Reebok.
This excited my curiosity, but after examining public records, the facts offered little in the way of explanation. What made these United States of Americans want to wear Reeboks? Was it merely a trend, like the hula hoop or Bob's Nehru jacket? I dug harder, worked deeper. The Reebok's manufacturing plant was my next stop. But the plant wasn't talking to anybody. Still, what I found there made me able to separate the chemical makeup of the shoe via a special dissection process. The outsole, special Dead City midsole, calf garment, leather, shoe strings. Exciting as these special findings were, I was still far away from discovering the true secret to Reebok's success, so I put Bob in a control laboratory test. The test results were negative. Coffee, Bob?
No.
We decided to find humans who wore Reeboks in other lands. We started by interviewing everybody. My secretary, Lou, conducted the interviews. So, let's skip to my Lou.
Lou here, why Reebok?
Love them.
I wear them every day.
Instead of wearing shoes, you wear black sneakers and you look all right.
The black sneaks. Because they're very comfortable and they're good support for the ankle.
Lou here, Reebok comfortable?
Feel comfortable? Very good. Aye, a 5 pair.
Big polyurethane straps for stretch control, triple layers of leather and a heel cup around the heel.
Solid information leading me in a direction I hadn't yet traveled. Still, even with input from experts like them, I had yet to formulate my hypothesis. I continued on from San Bernardino to San Juan and up to Berkeley, where I stayed 2 nights with Bob's roommate.
Was he wearing my shirt?
Upon reflection, I realized that I would have to search farther, travel wider. All roads pointed to New Guinea, where I finally came across the wonderful world of discoveries every young man has dreams about. A strange cult practicing a ritualistic tribal custom Bob called Ultra Big Unique. But I like the acronym better, U.B.U. With a small film crew I had brought over from Vegas, I was able to document this historic finding. Never did I let on that I was a scientist studying their behavior.
Were there cannibals?
No, pseudo-cannibals. Here was an entire race of humans, unknown to anybody except themselves, behaving with little or no inhibitions. They told me it started with Reebok shoes, but then it spread to socks, then pants. Soon their entire body was covered. Incredible.
So, you mean rather than forcing somebody's personality to conform to the shoes and clothing they are wearing, these human beings allowed the shoes to enhance their own personality? Is this then the secret to Reebok you've been looking for?
Yes, I was no fool. I knew the discovery of U.B.U. would assure my place in anthropodiatrical history. So, like the optometrist who pieces together his fossil findings to make a dinosaur structure, I put together my film footage for presentation to the Board of Anthropodiatrists. Here, then, is my presentation seen in public for the very first time.
Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. To be great is to be misunderstood. There is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that he must take himself for better, for worse, as his portion. Insist on yourself, never imitate. Always scorn appearances, and you always may. Discontent is the want of self-reliance. It is infirmity of will. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the manhood of every one of its members. To believe your own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. Nature abhors a vacuum.
And you thought all the action was happening in Seoul?
And you thought everything was happening in Seoul.
If you ain't you, you ain't nobody.
Thus, the end of this story is only the beginning of a much bigger story, that of U.B.U. and the future of the world. For who knows, with an entire race of humans behaving in a relaxed, uninhibited sort of way, might not dictators be felled, wars averted, peace achieved?
So you see, fellow humans, the work of Dr. Ubee and Bob was the new start of a beginning for Reebok. In the years 1988 through 1989, Reebok spread the news of U.B.U. throughout the United States of America, spending $20 million in the fall, $20 million in the spring. Popular television shows reaching large audiences of active, style-conscious citizens interrupted their broadcasts to hail the discovery. Alternative shows, appealing to a hip, urban epicenter, followed. Major periodicals featured glossy spreads on the U.B.U. phenomena, as well as outdoor locations such as billboards. But U.B.U. wasn't the only discovery to receive widespread acclaim. A new scientific breakthrough in performance athletic shoes, the Energy Return System, was featured in sporting publications and events across the country. Reebok basketball shoes were featured on NCAA and NBA telecasts.
Hey, we talk about playground legends. You gotta bring up a guy named Lamar Mundane. I seen him just rain jump shots on people. 4, 5, 6 shots in a row. People just started calling me Money. Because when he shot, it was money in the bank. He come down and shoot a 15-footer, everybody on the side be hollering, lay up. Slam dunks are tough. But when a 35-footer come raining out the sky, it'll wire you up.
When the new legends are made, they'll be wearing Reeboks.
Also receiving special attention were cross-training, tennis, golf, aerobics, running, cycling, walking, and casual shoes. Kids' shoes were seen on Nickelodeon and Double Dare. Reebok was the sole shoe sponsor of the 1988 Olympic Games. Reebok's $10 million contribution to Amnesty International was the subject of radio broadcasts and live satellite feeds all over the world. More than $75 million was spent to spread Reebok's message. As a result, there wasn't a person in the free world who didn't own at least one pair of Reeboks by June 1990. And by a special order of Congress, the word Reebok replaced the word shoes in Webster's new abridged collegiate dictionary. Dr. Ubee retired to a sprawling 15-acre estate in Mashpee, where he is currently at work on his memoirs. Bob hooked up with an Israeli model and is currently living in Jerusalem.